guys, wobble wobble wobble, this is yours truly BJ&J saying welcome along to Adrian J Online. Now, I'm not sure which section I'm going to put this in, or I might need to make another section, but I've done a little bit of electrical work. So I told you before, I ain't certified, so this is not really a how-to. Well, it is a how-to, but not a how-to, it's not an official how-to. So I'm going to give you a warning, obligatory warning after I come back, but we're going to try and replace a dimmer switch. Don't go away. Okay, so as I said originally, I'm probably going to do like an how-to section on my channel. I've done some electrical work, as you know. I'm not certified. I went to college, I did electronic servicing, I've fixed things, I've done work in my own house, and I've done work here. I'm not certified. So what you need to do when you're going to do any work, make sure, one, that you feel competent, right? If you're not competent, or you don't feel competent, or you don't feel safe doing it, don't do it. Go and get someone and pay money to get it replaced, whatever it is. Electricity will kill you, gas will kill you, and water will kill you. Mix all three, it'll definitely kill you. Water will be messy. Well, you can drown, I guess, or you can have an electrical shock. Anyway, so these things will kill you if you don't know what you're doing. I've done a few of these things before, and I get the idea. So I'm just going to show you how I'm doing it. I'm not telling you that you should or could do it. It's just a video. Okay, so obligatory, there is a warning. Check in your country, your region, your state, your city, the codes, everything. Okay, that's what you have to do, and I'm not responsible. So we had some, well, basically we have a light, a double dimmer switch. I didn't put them in, some other guy put them in, and so now what we're going to do is, there's a problem with the switch, so I'm going to take the switch, replace the switch. So this incorporates 3 or 4 things. First of all, we're going to isolate the power to make sure there's no power going to the switch. Secondly, we're going to remove the switch plate cover and see if we can, there's something obvious that needs to be fixed. In this case, I don't think so. 3, we need to replace the switch. After we replace the switch, we check all the connections, double check, triple check, put the power on, and we'll give it a try, and that should be good. So I'm going to show you now what the issue is. As you can see, it's an ordinary switch. As you can see, this goes on and off. Can you see? Now this may have some kind of something broken inside the switch. Might be able to clip it back on, but I very much doubt it. This is a dimmer. So I've actually changed it. I don't like this style dimmer. It's kind of garbage. But the dimmer, and I'll show you, is like a switch here, which will switch it on and off. And then you have a slider. You really want a big slider. I don't know why these are put in here. These are garbage. Well, maybe not garbage. Maybe you don't like them. Maybe you can just set it to 1 and on and off. I just do not like it. So that's what we're going to do. So first step, stage 1, isolate the power. Now there's a number of ways we can isolate the power. There is a device, a couple of devices I've got, which will trace the cables down to the switchboard, and then you flip the switch off. But I've found sometimes that's a bit of a pain, and you have to run up and down stairs, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. My one I've started having issues with, so I'm not sure why. But anyway, the other option is to, if you're working on a PowerPoint, you can plug a radio in, put it on loud, listen to it, obviously when it flips off. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because there's no one in the house, what I'm actually going to do is, downstairs there are some light, they're toggle, they've got switches on there, so I've got a fairly good idea what the switches are. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to run downstairs, flip the switch, run back upstairs, and it should put the switch, put lights off. Now, because they're all on one switch, right, I've got the lights on here. So basically what should happen is when I come upstairs, that light should go off. Once I've done that, to prove that the switch is disconnected, I've got an electrical screwdriver and a multimeter, and I'll double check that. So I'm going to put this video off while I run up and downstairs and find out which one it is. Okay, right, as we can see, it's very dark, and the lights have gone off. So this is not labeled on what I would have thought it was labeled on. It was labeled, sorry, excuse me, I was running up and down stairs. labelled up as bathroom plugs, because in this country they do not separate plugs from light, which is totally retarded. But anyway, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to open this up, see if I can get a... There's two screws, one on the top, one on the bottom. So that's what I'm going to open now. Actually, what I'm going to do is I've got a different... I need a crosshead. So let's use a crosshead. With all the crap in this room, that's a bit better. Okay. Okay, so you can... Don't be tempted to use powered tools, because I've found that will cause you problems. So, the unit is, I'll see if I can get you in close here. The unit is enclosed. The unit's enclosed. Alright, so there's no way to fix that. So if we look in there, it should just be a simple change out. So we need to take this, we need to take this out as well to get to the other one. So give me a second. Remove the other one. And as I can see, already these guys have screwed up. These guys have not done a proper job. And I'll show you why. And I don't know how I'm going to fix it. I don't think I can fix it easily, so I may need to do the same thing that these guys have done. Really what I need to do is, let's pull this out. Okay. Can you see here? They screwed it into there and they should have screwed it into there. And I think it's because it's the slightly wrong size. So I'm going to have to play around with that. Now what I'm going to do is, I've just got to rewire these. But I want to check on here that there's no power. Trusted Klein kit. We have this, oops, here. And so we can check for, see how this comes on? Check for live and neutral. Nothing there. Nothing there. Okay. Now just to prove this is working, I'm going to go and stick this in a socket to make sure it is working, because it's actually working. Make sure it's working. Go back to it again. Nothing. So that should be dead. But do we want to take a chance? No. I'm very sorry about the video because oops. Always good to have a meter. Sorry. So I've set this to 200 volts AC, and I'm going to see if I can get any voltage on here. Nothing. I'm going to go and plug this into a socket and check that this is working, which it should be. It is working, but I've forgotten I put it on DC. So just that be a lesson to you. So I've got it on AC. I'm just going to double check. Sorry you can only see my back, but I can't think of any other way to do this. Okay. So there's definitely no power. Definitely no power on there. So what we're going to do is, now we've got no power, we can remove this. So what they've got is, okay. So they've got an earth here. Let's take this earth out here. Right, okay. Okay, so this is going to be quite simple. I'm going to show you a close-up. It should be just a simple straight swap. We've got 3 wires. Ground, live, and neutral. So they've put these wing nuts on there, which is perfectly fine. I don't know how good they've put them in. So what we need to do is just need to unscrew these, put the new ones on. So let's go and have a look at what I bought. I gotta, have to have a Diet Coke break. Okay, so this is what I got. This type. So this should be pretty simple. So give me a sec. Okay, so this is the kit, exactly the same kind of thing. They do supply 3 of these stuff, so that should be fairly easy to take apart. So let's go and have a look. Unscrew the wing nuts. I mean, I guess you can cut them, but then the reason I don't like cutting is because then I have to do more stuff on here. So what I actually, do you know what I actually should do? I just realized I should actually just be on the safe side. Before I didn't touch any metal, so let's just double check. Let's just double check. Double check. Always double check. You can. It doesn't matter if you triple check, quadruple check. It's always better. Mind you, this is only 110 volts. I've worked on 240. 240 will definitely kill you. And I've had a couple of sparks with the 240. So we got 4 wires. This wire we don't use. Okay, so we don't use that one. Green is the earth. Red goes to the live. Black goes to the neutral. Now, there are different schools of thought. Let me just go back. There are different schools of thought on connectors. So I'm using wing nuts, not wing nuts, wing nuts. I've forgotten what these are called now, not wing nuts. I think I said what they were easily. I've totally forgotten. They'll be here somewhere. So some people say when you use these, you're supposed to, when you put them in, you just screw them round. I've seen other videos where they say you should make a good electrical connection. In other words, they should be nice and tight before you put this on, because this is, though this is making an electrical connection, this is actually, you don't want to be able to pull it, although you're not going to be pulling stuff apart. So let's go, let's do the, so I'm going to do the earth first. So this is nice and there. Okay, can you see here? And then let's get it closer in. Okay, so you can see. So when you get that, you make sure this is nice and tight. Nice and tight. So this can't get loose. I think we might need to cut this. Let's see how. I need to cut a little bit. Because what we don't also want to do, we don't want any of the metal going past the insulation. So can you see? Put that on and then we screw it on. Till it makes a good connection. Then you shouldn't, there we go. Make sure it's a really good tight connection because you don't want this coming out. Okay, I'm going to get you in closer so you can see. I'm going to make sure this is nice and tight. Okay, so I'm going to... we don't need. This is only, I can't remember what this wire is for. There's this for 2 gang switches, I think, or travelers or something like that. But so this is the earth, neutral and live. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. You've got a on-off switch here, and this is the slider. So just to prove it's working, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run downstairs, put the breaker on. I'm going to run downstairs, put the breaker on. Whoops. I'm going to run downstairs, put the breaker on. You'll see the light come on, and then we'll test it. Because always test it before you put it back in. Otherwise, if you put everything back together again, you're kind of messed up. So you probably saw the lights came on. So that means it's working now. What did I tell you about checking, double checking? I want to make sure there shouldn't be any issue. But this is metal here. Okay, here. And I want to make sure that this isn't, that had me scared a bit. So anyway, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go down, put the power off. Let us put everything back in again. Put the 4 screws on. And as you saw, the switches came on. So off, on, full power, half power, on, off. So there we go. So there you go. Let me give you another little bit of warning. Don't have a heart attack. Eat properly, otherwise when you do this stuff, you get out of breath. So, so 1, we had a faulty switch. 2, they didn't use the right screws. 3, they push fit instead of wire wrapping. That is not against code, but it's, some people say it's just because it's easy. But if you've got sockets, the connections can get loose and then you can have problems. And a light switch is not necessarily too much. Also make sure you, when you use the wire nuts, that they're nice and tight, they can't pull. And as you see, I mean, I was videoing and messing around a little bit, so I would say this is about a 15-20 minute job. The part was maybe, I can't remember how much the part was, 10 bucks, 15 bucks, but something like that. And it's easy to do. Please, if you don't know what you're doing, or not happy, or not safe, or don't have the stuff, make sure you have all the safety stuff and everything. Don't do it. Get an electrician if you can, and you're a little bit scared, or not sure, or a bit nervous, and as you saw. But this is not a how-to. Not a how-to. This is just how I do. Alright, so from yours truly, Big J and Jason, peace out until I'm out of here like a thief in the night. Happy Sunday! And I hope your week is blessed. and you get to accomplish everything you need. Now I'm going to finish off my coat, go downstairs, watch a bit more Star Trek Enterprise, because that's what I'm binge watching at the moment, after I put my tools away. Okay, take it easy. Love you. Out of it.